Hello, everyone, and welcome to our sixth week of English 203. This session today is going to be more of a Q&A. I'm going to cover a few things with you, and we're going to be going over the Moodle to see what we still have left, as well as our Wikipedia project to see how to go from here, because now things have started to become a little bit more serious. So we are in week 6. Effectively, when it comes to teaching weeks, we are in the middle of the semester. So we have finished half of the semester. Now, unlike other courses, English 203 and English 204 actually do not have midterms or finals, which means that you're not going to be examined on anything. You're not going to be given an exam on anything. And you're not going to be given a final, which also means that by week 12, you will be done with the course. Hopefully, by week 13, which is the final week of the course, what we will do is we will have what I like to call a housekeeping session. That means that I will be meeting with you on Zoom and you can ask questions and you can also check where you are in class in terms of performance and progress and all of that. Okay, so for week 6, we are going to go over our reading, which is on reflective writing and the revision process, which you have done. I have 67 unread posts. And we are going to be responding to our peers by tomorrow at 6. Moderators, your moderation is due on Friday. And I also want to bring to your attention that even if the Wikipedia project says that the due date is sometime particular time or a day, I wanted to take until Sunday for you to finish your work. Let me show you, these are hidden from you, but let me show you what we still have left in terms of the work besides the Wikipedia project. So on week 7, we're going to go over facts, opinions, and logical fallacies. Week 8 is going to be on purpose, point of view, and tone. Week 9 is going to be on critical reading. Week 10 is going to be on critical race English education, which is something that is new. Might not be necessarily something that we have or apply here in Lebanon, but we will give it a shot. It's actually going to be fun. And week 11 is on critical reading, animal cruelty. Week 12, we're going to do our video presentations and academic posters, which is the final week where you will be submitting your work. And as I said, week 13, one-on-one meetings with me on Zoom. Okay, do you have any questions before I move on? You're here. Any questions? Are you all fine with that? Great. Okay. Let's move on to, I think I'm losing people. Let's move on to our Wikipedia project. So with the Wikipedia project, this week we're going to be starting some of the serious work. We're going to be doing a training on moving our work outside the sandbox, moving our group work live, keeping track of our work on dashboard. We're going to go over plagiarism, drafting as a group. Resource is going to be editing Wikipedia, so you can click on it and it'll take you there. Oh, I think I lost Carla. No. Okay. Actually, Carla's still here. Awesome. We're going to also do a training on, so I said plagiarism, drafting as a group, and how to evaluate sources and do some peer review. What I want you to start is I want you to start drafting. Okay, so this means that what you will start doing is start working on your articles and on the people that you're working on. Uh, this means that we're going to have a lot of uh, workshops together. So what I would like you to do is when you create a sandbox, as you know from last week, only one person in the group can create has to create the article in a sandbox, and you can share that with either uh, um, other Wikipedia people or your classmates, the group. And I would also like you to share that with me so I can receive a notification of the sandbox. If you cannot do that for whatever reason, you're finding some difficulties, what you can do is you can copy the HTTP address. So you just basically go up to where the address is and copy paste that and send it to me in an email. Actually, you know what? Instead of an email, what I will do is I will create a Google Doc for you to paste it in there. Okay. Um, the other thing is that as you are working on your articles, what I want you to do is at least have the different segments ready so I can check them with you and make sure that you're on the right track. What is very, very important is to be able to start gathering information about our authors. Uh, in some of in some cases, we cannot find anything online, and so we have to be talking to specific people like our librarians, uh, and uh, and we're going to be also working, maybe collecting data by visiting, uh, uh, especially for those of you who can do that by visiting certain places and maybe taking photos and gathering some data. I don't want you to feel, by the way, I just wanted to point out that Rania Kanj is our course specific librarian. She's going to be helping us with this. This is her email, rk13@aub.edu.lb. You can always email her and tell her that you're in my class working on this project and that you need her help. She is very nice, she's very helpful, and she will guide you in the right direction. She can put you in touch with other librarians who can help you. She can put you in touch with uh, the people responsible for archives, where you can find a lot of information. She can probably find books for you where you can find information about your authors. And she can help you verify this information. She can probably find ebooks for you. And if she cannot find the ebooks for you, she can find actual physical copies of books for you and probably scan some pages for you as well. So she is going to be helping you work on these articles. In some cases, for example, if you're working on authors who are not necessarily like for example, certain people from certain areas that you think that you might be able to go there in person and gather some information, you can always do that. But what I want you to do is I want you to always check with me and see if you can like for example, let me give you one example, and I think I've talked about this before. We have a person, one of the people on the list, called Ali Al-Haj. He is a poet. But if you go online and you search for Ali Al-Haj, you're going to find a ton of people. I don't mean any of these Ali Al-Hajjs. Actually, the only one person that I mean is the person who doesn't have a Wikipedia page. So, and he is a Zaja poet, and he was very, very well known. But you can probably find some YouTube videos about him, not about him, but where he is in certain Zajal occasions, reciting Zaja poetry. Uh, but be careful, do not confuse him with somebody else and start writing about somebody else. So other people might have a Wikipedia article about them, but it's incomplete. Some people might have an Arabic Wikipedia article about them. It might also be incomplete, and it also is in Arabic. We don't want it in Arabic. We also want to make sure that we are digitizing everything in English. And the reason why we want to digitize it in English is because we want the far reach of Wikipedia, English Wikipedia. We want it to be read by a larger number of people. We want to have a far reach in terms of our audience. Later on, we might work with students from the Arabic department to translate these pages to Arabic, or maybe translate from Arabic to English, but that is a completely different course and completely different project. Okay. What questions do you have about the Wikipedia project? Do you have any questions? How come everybody's too silent today? Like, I know I have a lot of people here, but...
No, all clear.
All clear. Okay. No questions whatsoever. Is everything clear for you here? Like with the Moodle, with our LMS, the course on there, the Wikipedia project, nothing whatsoever is confusing you? I know that whenever you're confused, you're always asking me questions on WhatsApp. And sometimes I'm answering, sometimes other classmates are answering, which is absolutely amazing. Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions. What have you found so far, since we're halfway through the semester? What have you found? Oh, Yasmin has a question. So for the articles, you'll help us to find them. Articles, you're creating the article. So as a group, one of you is going to be creating in the sandbox an article about the person that you're writing about. And then instead of creating 5 different articles and sandboxes about this one person, or 4, depending on the number of people in the group, one person is going to be creating that and sharing the link with the other students so that you can all contribute, right? The beauty about Wikipedia is that we're all writing together, okay? So we have decided on a person. Some people decided to write about Noor Hamada. Some people decided to write about Aql Al-Awid. Some people decided to write about Ali Haj. So it depends on who the author that you're writing about is, and then you're creating this in your sandbox. Once you create this in the sandbox, so you agree as a group who's going to be creating the article in the sandbox, and then you'll share the link with other people. Is that clear, Yasmin? Great. Okay. So we are halfway through the semester. I just want to see, what do you feel has been the most helpful for you on Moodle? So I'm going to go back to Moodle. So as a course page on our LMS, Learning Management System, what has been the most helpful for you in the design, the layout, the way everything is structured? What did you find most helpful? You can unmute yourself to speak if you want. Nothing is helpful.
The detailed explanation of what to do in each week and every week. Also, the Zoom session is provided in each week. This is actually very helpful, rather than providing it in the syllabus or somewhere at the top of the page.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much for pointing this out. Okay. Somebody messaged me privately and said the Moodle page is very well organized. Thank you very much. Okay. What have you found to be not so helpful and you would like me to change? Not just for you, but also for future classes if I'm to teach this again. What did you find to be inaccessible, not really easy or clear?
Nothing, to be honest.
I'm sorry?
Nothing, to be honest.
Nothing. Oh, okay. If you ever find anything that you feel can be improved, fixed, done better, please let me know. You can always email me or message me or on WhatsApp. Okay, my third question is, would you like me to give you a survey where you can tell me what you don't like or what you like privately without me knowing? Would you like to fill out an anonymous survey because there's something that you need to tell me, but you don't feel comfortable enough telling me? Or do you feel that you're comfortable enough telling me whatever you want to tell me, whether it's positive or negative?
I don't think there is a need to the survey. No, for me.
Okay, anybody feels that maybe this would be a good idea, you can always let me know. Awesome, thank you, Yasmin. Yasmin is saying we're comfortable with you. Okay, if you were to compare your learning experience in English 203 with other learning experiences online, can you draw a certain parallels, like the similarities or the differences? Or would you be able to tell me about the difficulties that you're facing with online learning? And the reason I am asking you is because I am working on improving this, not just for me, but for other courses as well. And I find it very helpful if you can tell me, or I would find it very helpful if you can tell me about your experience. So what have been the difficulties that you've faced with other courses online?
It's not the same as being in person on the campus. That's the only thing.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It's not the same as being on campus, and that would be a tough one. Yes. Anything else? In some courses, the doctors are moving too fast because we have the recording. I guess online learning requires more workload and it's very boring. Yes, since there's no interaction. That's true. Okay, you like how it's asynchronous. I made sure it's asynchronous actually, in particular because I know not everybody is able to join every week, and then everything has to be explained in more detail. Let me tell you what I have tried to do and will continue to do is seeing how long it takes me to complete a particular task and multiplying that by 3 to assess how long it'll take you to complete a particular task. So it'll give you 3 or 2 times more time than I would give myself. Watching the recorded lecture takes a lot of time. Yes, yes. Carla, do you mean recorded lecture, not our synchronous Zoom sessions, right? You mean like in general, like if somebody has a lecture, right?
No, not in other courses. This is the problem I'm facing actually. In
It's a
some
long-
courses, the doctor moves fast. When I tell her, let's say, to slow down, she takes this into account for sure, but she always realizes that we have the recording so you can rewatch it. But actually, I have other courses where we don't have live sessions and I have recorded sessions, and each session is about 1 hour, 50 minutes. And it takes me 4 hours actually
to do
to
yeah.
write the notes and watch the lecture, and that's without studying it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Usually, rule of thumb is not to have long lectures, but rather to keep them maximum 10 minutes long. So 10 minutes, and in fact, anything between 5 to 10 would be perfect. nothing longer. Okay. All right. So basically, what we did today in this session, Rowana just joined. Nadim, can I ask you, or you know what? I'll mute you. Okay. Okay. So what we did in this session was, 1 second. I'm trying to see if we have anything in the chat. Yeah, don't worry about it. So what we did in this session was we went over a couple of general things regarding our LMS and what we still have left to do from now until the end of the semester, given that this is week 6. And so we are halfway through the semester, which is great. This is when the serious work begins with the Wiki Education project. What I also want to remind you is that the Wiki project is just working on something that is what is a form of writing. This is a particular genre. This is not how we are going to be writing in every single course at AUB. In fact, English 204 is going to be doing a much better job. But this is also preparing you for critical thinking, how to use sources, how to avoid fallacies, how to avoid plagiarism, how to use side document, etc., etc. So it's teaching you a lot, but at the same time, instead of just teaching things that are or concepts that are abstract, you're applying them immediately, and you're applying them to something that will forever remain there, and you will always be able to see, go back and share with people saying, I've written this article on Wikipedia. So it's actually a nice thing because you're applying what you're learning immediately. But at the same time, it's not as rigorous as English 204. You will find that in English 204, you will learn how to write academically in a much more rigorous way. But it doesn't mean that English 204 is not fun. Well, actually, I can't say it's fun, but still, it's not that boring. If you do not have any more questions or comments or anything else, I'm going to wrap up this session, because this is just, as you know, it's a session to keep in touch with you and touch base with you and make sure that you're on the right track, that you're fine, that nothing is left unclear, etc. So any comments, any remarks, anything else? Would you like to add anything? Ask a question? You know, it's really funny because we have our WhatsApp group. It's not like we're waiting until, you know, this one day a week when we have a synchronous session to ask our questions, right? So we're asking our questions on WhatsApp and we're answering them, and we're having these sticker fights and all that. And great. Okay. Are we all fine here? I'm sorry for those who joined us late, and because I know you have other classes and this is when you were done and you had to come in late, but I like to keep these short for several reasons. Number one, I know it's at the end of the day, you're all tired. And the second thing is because I need to upload them, so I don't want them to be too long. So if everybody is fine, I'll just wait for a minute to see if there are any questions or comments, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Awesome. You realize I'm not muted, right? I'm talking to my class. Okay, you can't do that. Sorry, I have a very annoying kid. All right, have a good one, everyone. And I'm going to stop sharing now. Sorry, not stop sharing, stop recording.